Hi guys, and welcome to this free video tutorial in which I'll show you exactly how you can build some serious muscle with just 3 highly effective workouts per week from home. So let's go. So hi guys, and welcome again to this short video tutorial where I'll share with you how you can build some serious muscle with just 3 workouts per week from home. But before we get stuck into it, you're probably wondering, who the hell are you and why should I be taking any advice from you? So let me briefly introduce myself. So as you probably guessed by now, my name is Jay, just like in my Instagram handle down there, Jay Vegan Fitness. And that picture of me in a suit is actually a picture of me in, I guess, my natural habitat. Because for the majority of my adult life, I was working in business as a corporate business consultant for various big firms in various countries. If you're curious to know exactly what I was up to, you can check me out on LinkedIn if you want. But basically, yeah, my main job was working as a business consultant. Long hours, many business trips, and still at the same time I had this passion for health and fitness, and not gonna lie, I also wanted to achieve a certain look. I wanted to feel sexy, look sexy. I wanted to have it all, basically. So I did what I thought I was meant to do. I worked out in a gym and tried to eat high protein meals every couple of hours, and this is kind of the result that I got from working out 5-6 days a week, following all the principles that I heard about from the fitness industry or got from the fitness magazines I was reading, and yeah, eating everything that had protein basically written on the label on it. That was also before I turned vegan over 5 years ago. So I thought I did everything right, but as you can see, I didn't really get the results that I wanted. And what was worse for me was, even though I was working so hard and making sacrifices, not going out to meals with friends sometimes, or getting up super early to go to the gym, I also was not able to perform at my job at 100% sometimes, because it was taking so much energy away from my day job. And I was like, is there no way that I can have both? I can perform well at my job, but also look great. And so I kept trying different things, because I refused to give up and believe that there wasn't a way to do it. And lo and behold, I achieved it. So these days, this is what my current physique is looking like, and I've been able to build a really, as you can see, in my opinion, a really decent amount of muscle mass, and it's all been with just 3 workouts per week, highly effective, highly efficient, make the most of your time, also from home, body weight focused, so no need for equipment unless you want to use equipment. That's absolutely fine too. Same principles, by the way, work for both gym and at-home training if you know what you're doing. But it's also great for business trips. If you're out and about, don't have access to a gym, no excuse, you can still get a really nice muscle building workout in. And it's also been on a completely 100% plant-based diet, because like I said, I've been vegan for over 5 years now. So yes, there is a way to do it. And once I found out, okay, this is how I can do it, people started asking me, obviously, naturally, Jay, what do you do? How do you do it? And especially over the last year with COVID and gyms closing and all that, more and more people started asking me, and I wanted to share what I was doing, because it was working for me and it was working for the people I was sharing it with. So since then, I'm now trying to share this with more people, as many people as I can, to help them not grind themselves into exhaustion like I did for myself, with too many workouts and skipping out on social occasions and stuff. So yeah, now I am Jay Vegan Fitness. You can find me on Instagram if you like. I share the foods that I eat, the workouts that I do, or just general life things. And I also offer some online courses, specifically on building muscle, if that's your focus, or on getting lean and shredded. As well as some one-on-one coaching. So that's what I do these days. But enough about me. I appreciate you didn't come here to get to know me, but you came here to find out how you can work out most effectively and gain muscle with just 3 highly efficient workouts per week. So let's move on over to that. But before we do, let me just share with you, or bust rather, the #1 myth in the fitness industry when it comes to building muscle. I don't know why this myth is still around and people still seem to think it's a thing and believe in it. So let me bust that first, and then let's move on to the main principles. So the #1 myth with regards to muscle building is called somatotypes. You might have come across that term before. If I'll show you in a second what it means, you've probably seen it before. So somatotypes is essentially a way of classifying different types of bodies. So there's ectomorphs, mesomorphs, and endomorphs. So for example, an ectomorph, as you can see in the picture here, would be somebody who's described, or characterized rather, by long, thin limbs, and therefore is said to have a hard time building muscle and has a more genetic predisposition to have a long, slender physique. On the other hand, there are the mesomorphs, who are said to have a great genetic potential for building lean muscle mass without gaining too much body fat, who basically have a athletic physique given to them. And then there are the endomorphs, who are just characterized by a little pudginess, softness, and who are said to have a hard time building muscle but also losing body fat, who are kind of just their metabolisms are slow and they are kind of not stuck, but that's just where they naturally fall. So those are somatotypes, and according to this theory, you are either of the 3, and that's just who you are, and that's just kind of limits your ability to either lose body fat or gain muscle. Now, have you ever asked yourself, where does this come from? Now, I did, and I looked into it, and this theory is most commonly associated with an American psychologist called William Sheldon, who came up with this theory in the 1940s. Now, you might wonder, why did a psychologist come up with body type classifications to show how you can build muscle or lose body fat? That doesn't make any sense, does it? So the reason is really simple. He didn't come up with body type classifications to show genetic potential for muscle building. He did this, or this type of classification, because he thought different body types are actually connected to people's character. So he would say, people with a certain body shape, where you can look at them and make judgments about their behavior, their character, how sociable they are, how assertive they are, even how intelligent they are, or even their tendency to commit crime. That's what he was trying to do with this, not to tell people you can or can't build muscle. It was basically a way to look at people's physiques and make judgments about their character. Now, if that sounds weird and wrong to you, that's a good thing, because this theory has received much criticism over the years and basically has been completely discredited ever since. So it's not a valid theory of characterizing body types in any sort of way, and also not a psychological assessment of anybody. So you can see some of the criticisms, some of the sources just here, but just remember, this is not a thing. And still, somehow it made its way into the fitness industry. You might have seen things like this, how to train and diet for your body type, and you clearly see those 3 distinct body types, or same thing, train for your body type, ectomorph, mesomorph, endomorph, how to eat for your body type, the workout program, build muscle for the skinny guy, and advice for personal trainers working with different somatotypes. It is out there. And I don't know why, because it's not a true theory, and it's a myth that's been busted a long time ago. But that just goes to show you that you shouldn't believe everything you hear in the fitness industry, because most of it, unfortunately, is just a way to get you to open your wallet and spend money on things you don't need or things that don't work. So what do we do? Well, first we need to remember somatotypes, not a thing, not real. Don't get bogged down. If you look a certain way now, it doesn't mean if you're skinny now, it doesn't mean you can't build muscle. If you're a little pudgy now, it doesn't mean you can't, get six-pack abs and get lean. It doesn't mean that at all whatsoever. So first and foremost, let's get that mental block out of our heads, and let's look at actually what works and what brings us the results that we want. And to do that, let's look at some of the other myths out there. So for example, you should be working out 5 to 6 days per week. I'll show you in a second that that's just simply also not true. Or you need to hit every single muscle group at least twice per week. Completely exhaust the muscle with drop sets, supersets, giant sets, cluster sets, etc. Or another myth that you can't build real size and strength with body weight alone, or that you need some sort of special equipment to really isolate each muscle so you can build them, or that you need to eat a ton of protein every couple of hours, and especially, God forbid, after your workout in the anabolic window. All of those, I kid you not, all of those are myths. They are not really actually true or effective when it comes to trying to build muscle. So what is then actually effective, and how do we know which way to go, what to believe? What I like to use is something called the Pareto principle. This is actually an economics principle. I'll share with you in a second how that's related to muscle building, but basically the basic premise is that out of 10 things, 2 of those will give you 80% of the results. And those are called the vital few, whereas the other 8 out of 10 things, they will give you some results, but probably not all that much, and they are called the trivial many. So in a company, statistically speaking, 80% of your profits usually come from your 20% top performers. And same in business, same in working out. There's so many things you could do. There's 100 things you could do, but out of those 100 things, if you nail the vital few, the 20%, the important 20%, if you nail those, you'll get 80% of the results. The other 80% you can do, and they might add a little bit, but probably not all that much. So I'm not saying nothing works except for what I'm sharing with you today, but today let's focus on the most effective, most efficient way to build muscle. So the 20% that are going to give you 80% of the results. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Basically, there's only 3 principles you need to know or you need to keep in mind when it comes to building muscle in the most efficient, most effective way. And this is true for working out at home or working out in the gym. Same principles apply. Principle number 1, focus on getting stronger. Principle number 2, train with intensity. And principle number 3, prioritize your recovery. Now, let's look a little bit at what I mean by each of those. I won't go into crazy detail, but let me just share quickly what I mean. So number 1, focus on getting stronger. Here you have a diagram of muscle fibers and what they usually look like, and you can see at the top it says sarcoplasmic versus myofibrillar hypertrophy. Those are basically 2 different ways in which we can stimulate our muscles to grow. The sarcoplasmic part, maybe you've heard that word before, it's basically increasing the amount of sarcoplasm, the fluid that's surrounding our muscle cells. If you look in the diagram on the right hand side in the middle, you can see the muscle cells and then the sarcoplasm, the fluid surrounding the muscle tissue, the muscle fibers. If we train for sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, we're training the muscle to hold more of that sarcoplasmic fluid. It's basically your typical high reps pumping iron sort of feeling, or pumping reps sort of feeling, where your muscles swell with all that fluid, and the more frequently you train that way, the bigger your muscles appear and the more your muscles will be able to hold that fluid. But also after training, that's when the pump goes away and you kind of look like normal before again. And also you're not necessarily getting any stronger. You're lifting smaller weights for more reps, but your maximum amount of reps or your maximum amount of weight that you can move doesn't necessarily increase with this type of training. Doesn't mean it's wrong or bad, but it doesn't mean it's the most efficient or effective when it comes to building muscle. On the other hand, we have myofibrillar hypertrophy. So if you look on the far right, basically this type of training is geared towards stimulating the muscle so that it increases the number of muscle fibers, the number of myofibrils within the muscle itself. So that way, if we're challenging the muscle to need to build more muscle fibers through strength training, the muscle itself will grow more dense, more strong, and will also likely stay that way. Now, is there a way to train with both? Absolutely. But if you had to choose for muscle building, the most effective way, I would say focus on myofibrillar hypertrophy and making the muscle dense and actually strong rather than just pumping up the muscle. And how do you do that? The most efficient and effective range, I won't go into detail as to why. I hope you just believe me at this point that I know a little bit of what I'm talking about. But the most efficient and effective ranges would be to train in the 4 to 8 rep range. So pick an exercise, do it for 4 to 8 reps, take some rest, and do that for 3 to 4 sets. So not your typical, what you would hear in the gym or in the magazines or from self-proclaimed fitness gurus of doing 10, 12, 15, 20, 25 reps and doing that for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sets in a row, completely obliterating the muscle. If you like that, if you want to do that, sure, go ahead. Is it necessary? Is it the most effective? Is it that 20% that's going to give us 80% of the result? I don't think so. If you want to train in the most effective way, this is the way to go. 4 to 8 reps, 3 to 4 sets. All right, moving on to principle number 2. Number 2 is train with intensity. Now, this might already be self-explanatory, but I'll explain it briefly anyways. If you're only doing 4 to 8 reps of an exercise, those 4 to 8 reps need to be hard enough to stimulate your muscle or to signal to your brain, this is tough. Next time we better be prepared. We need to build some more muscle. So you need to pick an exercise, especially working out from home, that is challenging, really challenging at 4 to 8 repetitions. So for example, if you can already do 10 push-ups, it doesn't help you if you just stop at 8 and do that for 3 or 4 sets if it's not challenging you. Instead, what you need to do is pick a harder progression. Like here in the picture, you can see me doing one-arm push-ups. If you can do 4 reps of one-arm push-ups, that requires a lot of strength in your pecs, in your triceps, in your core, in your whole body, and it's going to really challenge your body to build the muscle necessary to be able to do that movement. Obviously, I'm not saying jump from push-ups straight to one-arm push-ups. There's progressions in between, but what I'm saying is pick the progression that's going to challenge you within that 4 to 8 rep range so that you really feel like, okay, this is hard, I'm working hard, but therefore I'm building muscle. What that means is you need to have a plan and you need to track your workouts if you aren't already. But you'd be surprised, and I'm always surprised how many people don't track their workouts. So you need to have a plan. What progression are you hitting and how many reps did you do last time? And this time you're going to try and get one more. You're going to try and move to the next progression and make it that little bit harder. And it also means if we're challenging ourselves with difficult movements or in the gym with high weights, it just means we need to warm up properly. Again, so many people jump into their workouts without any warm up. Please don't do that. Please warm up properly. And once you're warm and ready, push the intensity. So that's principle number 2. Train with intensity. Number 3, optimize your recovery. So you can imagine if you're pushing yourself hard in your training session every single day, not every single day, but every single time, it's going to take a toll on your body. Your body is going to need some time to recover. And research has shown that after an intense strength training session, your body needs 24 to 48 hours to recover from it properly. So with this style of training, don't train every day. Training 3 days per week is plenty, and also ideally on non-consecutive days. A day of rest in between so your body really has time to recover, build that muscle and fuel that muscle growth. Does that mean you can't train more if you love training? You can, you can have other hobbies. You see me here on the right. I do a little bit of BJJ, still a white, very, very white, pearly white belt, but it's something I love to do. just because I love being physically active, and I do it on my non-training days, but I also make sure I don't go crazy hard. I enjoy it for what it is, and I focus on just moving my body, feeling good, and recovering also. But if you don't want to incorporate any other sports, it just also means you have more time for general life things. You don't need to spend every single day in the gym, because 3 days per week is plenty. All right, I've been rambling on enough. Those are your main 3 principles that you need to build muscle effectively in the gym or from home. If you're building muscle at home, what sort of equipment do you need? Well, the only thing I think you really need is a pull-up bar. Again, 80-20 rule. Yes, there are so many pieces of equipment you could buy, and they all have some sort of purpose. But if you're looking to get 80% of your results from 20% of your inputs, a pull-up bar will do the trick. And even it doesn't have to be an expensive one. Personally, I recommend just the twisty ones you put into your door frame. Especially if you're not that advanced with bodyweight training yet, simply because you can adjust the height in your door frame, put it lower down for some bodyweight rows, or you can put it higher up for some pull-ups, or you can put it in the middle so that you can rest your feet on a chair and assist your pull-ups that way. So it's a great tool to have. Also, you can store it away or even take it with you if you wanted to on a trip or on a business trip to not miss out on your workouts. But yeah, a pull-up bar is basically all you need, trust me. And with regards to what exercises should you do when you're working out from home, I think all you need really, I don't know if you can see all of those, let me move my bubble over here. All you need are 5 exercises, really. I'm not saying, do the hardest progression straight away, but find the progression towards these 5 that fits your current ability level, and then, like we talked about before, every single time try and better yourself, bring the intensity, stay in the 4 to 8 rep range, try and work harder to achieve the next higher progression, and work towards that 1-arm chin up, that 1-arm push up, the handstand push up, the pistol squat, and the L-sits. You can see pictures of me doing those here, and trust me, working towards these individual exercises will build an all-around athletic, muscular, and hella sexy physique, if I may say so myself. The kind of muscles you need, the plate of armor chest you need to be able to do 1-arm press-ups, the kind of shoulder growth I've had from working on my handstand push-ups has been insane. Pistol squats, just an overall mobility, flexibility, and strength exercise for the glutes, the hamstrings, the quads, just everything all around. And L-sits, this kind of core compression is unlike any sit-up or any other standard run-of-the-mill ab exercise. This is for real. Using your whole body as a unit, and that's going to show in the way your abs are going to be developed. Again, find your progression on the way to achieving each of those, and those 5 should be what you structure your training around. So that kind of brings me to the end of the principles. But if you're looking for some effective training plans, like I mentioned, this is what I do now for a living, sharing what I know and what works really well for me and for my clients. So I've created dedicated training plans for building muscle, and also dedicated training plans for getting lean, because the emphasis on each of those is slightly different. We're still using the same fundamental scientific principles that I've outlined just now, but the way we incorporate into the training to facilitate our respective goals is slightly different, hence the different training plans. So you can check them out, clicking on the link below to go to my website. You can either look at only the training plans. They also come with the exercise vault, so all the progressions with videos to follow along to show you exactly what progression to do from one to the next and how to perform them. Follow along warm-up routines, upper and lower body, to really make sure we're ready to push ourselves hard, and also more in-depth on the scientific principles that I've explained earlier, so that you really understand why this is working. You kind of buy into the training system as well, or you can share it with your friends and family, and you have the tools and means to explain why it works, because this is contrary to all the typical stuff you hear in the industry, right? But if you're really serious about pushing yourself and either building muscle or getting lean in the most effective, most efficient way, training, as you probably already know, is just one part of the equation, right? In addition to training, you really need to have a sound, effective, efficient nutrition protocol. And maybe after seeing this presentation, it won't be surprising to you anymore, but just as there are so many myths out there with regards to training, there are just as many, if not more, with regards to nutrition. And it's really important to also understand what's going to actually help you get results and what isn't. And especially on a plant-based diet. Like I said, I've been vegan for more than 5 years, and I've also tried basically what feels like everything, work with online coaches, and learning from all those errors and trial and errors. I've basically put it all together into an easy to understand, easy to follow nutrition protocol, completely science-based. You don't need to eat ridiculous amounts of protein, especially as a vegan. You don't need to carry around your Tupperware everywhere you go. You can have a life, just like with the training. What's the most effective, most efficient way to get to your goal without sacrificing the fun and the enjoyment of life. So if that's what you're after, I have dedicated plans. I highly, highly recommend you check them out. This is my ultimate vegan lean physique guide. As you can see, it's an online course that you can go through at your own pace. It gives you complete breakdown of all the nutrition principles, all the exercise principles, and also a mindset system to really help you stick to your goals. You can join our Facebook group for some added motivation or to ask me any questions anytime. You can see it's also available on the go in an app format and dedicated app format. You have all the exercise video tutorials, you have all the workout plans, you have everything you could ever want with the support and with questions for anything and everything at your fingertips. So I highly, highly recommend you check out the Ultimate Vegan Lean Physique Guide if getting shredded for summer is something that you want to do in the most enjoyable, effortless way possible. Promised. Check it out, link below in the description. Like I mentioned, this is what it comes with, the different workout plans, exercise rotation, so in case you get stuck on a plateau, the exercise vault with all the different videos and tutorials to help you step by step achieve the next highest progressions. And yeah, just a great way to understand your nutrition as well. Example meal plans, recipes, scientific principles explained, and just more pictures of me of when I thought I knew thought I did everything right, eating everything that had protein written on it on the left, to actually knowing what works and enjoying life, enjoying drinks with friends, enjoying the sunshine, enjoying foods that I love on the right. So highly recommend you check it out if that's something you're curious about and want to achieve. Or if building muscle, if you feel like, I want to build some size first, then I really highly recommend you check out my Ultimate Vegan Muscle Building Guide. Basically, same concept, everything you need in one place: nutrition, exercise, mindset, Facebook group. Reach out to me with any questions anytime. Have it ready on the go in an app. Here's another inside look into what that looks like, especially for muscle building. The training plan is split into 3 distinct phases, each building on top of the other with the principles that we outlined before, also using some of the sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, because if we're building muscle, why not make the most out of all the tools in our toolbox without still going too far out and training every day? Still not necessary, but making the most out of all the tools that we have. The exercise vault, all the different exercise progressions, all there at your fingertips for life. One price, and you have access to everything for life. Example meal plans. Again, just a look here of what it looks like on the app. You have all the different recipes there, all outlined, and it's a way how I basically achieved the look that I have today. Unfortunately, you can't see it in these pictures, but I really, really highly recommend you check that out, so you know how to eat less protein and build more muscle, all science-based, and save you a lot of time and hassle, trialing and erroring and doing everything yourself. Like, this is everything in one place, So I highly recommend you check it out. And yeah, thanks so much for watching this tutorial. I really hope it made sense. You can take those principles and apply them to your own training. You know, the 3 that we talked about: train with intensity, optimize your recovery, focus on getting stronger. Those are really all the things you need. And the next time you look at something in the fitness industry, remember, most of it is probably not really going to help you. Ask yourself what is actually going to help you. Yeah, would love if you could follow me on Instagram, jveganfitness. If you want to check out my courses, please do. Links in the description box below. And yeah, hope to see you again sometime soon. Bye bye.